on? So today is the Warrock deck profile. Also just wanted to bring up, obviously like and subscribe and comment, for more. If you want to see more, comment other deck profiles you're interested in. But I was just gonna say, if you guys get me to 50 subscribers, I'll give away these 5 packs. And I'll basically, so 1 winner per pack, basically. I'll give away 5 winners. So there's Circuit Break First Edition, Infinity Chasers First Edition, Hidden Summoners First Edition, and 2 Code of the Duelist First Edition. So I'll pick 5 separate winners for that if you guys get me to 50 subscribers. So let's get on with the deck profile now. So, also I got a new mic, so let me know how the audio is. Yeah, I don't know if how well the audio is, so just let me know if there's any issues. So I play 3 Warrock Fortia. So he's the main, in my opinion, he's like the main starter of the deck because it sucks that Warrock's effects are only in battle phase, but it kind of works out with how they play, so it's kind of all right, I think. But yeah, this one is basically if an Earth Warrior monster attacks after damage calculation, you can add 1 Warrock card from your deck to your hand, except this card, except Fortuna, obviously. And then all Warrocks you control gain 200 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. And then also it's got a secondary effect. If this card is sent from your monster zone to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 level 5 or higher Warrock monster from your hand or deck. So to me, that's a really strong effect. If they lightning storm your field and Fortia's on it, you can instantly get out a level 5 like Meteor Dragon or Basilios or anybody else, basically. So I don't know, I feel like you need 3. You need to run 3 of him because he's like a main focus searcher. He can get you the field card. Then I run 2 Warrock Gactos, or 3 Warrock Gactos. He's another 3 of because he's basically an extender, because he can special summon if an Earth Warrior monster is normal summon, you can special summon him from your hand. So to me, that's a plus. And he has the same effect. He can summon a level 5 or higher if he's sent from the field or graveyard by an opponent's card effect, I'm pretty sure. So pretty good with getting out monsters and just an extender. So that's pretty cool. I run 2 Warrock Wento. She's really good because if your if your Earth Warrior monster battles an opponent's monster during the damage calculation quick effect, you can pay 800 life points and your battling monster gains 800 attack until the end of this turn. So that's really good. It can get you over, stronger monsters. If you have a Meteor Dragon who's just under 3k and your opponent has a 3k monster, then you can get over that easily. Because to me, I think the way this deck runs, I feel like it's kind of a control deck in a way. It's almost like a control deck. It doesn't have like all the lockdown, it's not like Subterror, but it's like a semi-control deck, I want to say. So basically you're locking down your opponent's combo plays and trying to lock them into basic monsters, so that when you get an 800 attack boost, it's a really big advantage on your side. And then she also has the same effect when sent to the field to the graveyard. I think it's a field from the graveyard. Yeah, your monster's zone to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect. You can get a level 5 or higher Warrock, so that's good to have in my opinion for all those. I play 2 Warrock, Mammoth, kind of supposed to be like a mammoth, I guess. He's pretty good because, yeah, he's level 5, but if you control no monsters or all monsters you control are warrior monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing, with no drawback. I was surprised to see no drawback on that effect, because usually there's drawbacks. If your Earth Warrior monster battles after damage calculation, you can target 1 spell trap your opponent controls and destroy it. Then all Warwick monsters you currently control gain 200 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So he's another attack boost and a popper or he pops spells and traps. So that's really good in my opinion. That's why I run 2 of him. I feel like 3 would be kind of too much, so I just keep him at 2. I see him enough through the game, and you can search. Obviously, you can search, so it's not that bad. I play 1 Warrock Orpus. He's kind of like a foolish burial for the deck. Usually, I only use him for if I want a Warrock Basileos in the graveyard for his return effect. That's the only time I really use Orpus, or if I just need a stronger attacker. But he's also pretty good because you can, he's like Mammon, so you can normal summon this card without tributing, which is pretty good in my opinion. And if he does the Graveyard Send effect, he also increases all Warrock monsters' attacks by 200, so that's also a good boost. So basically Warrocks, like as you can see, a lot of them have the 200 attack boost, so it's basically about like going over your opponent, basically, like getting a bunch of monsters going over your opponent with a giant attack boost. I play 1 Warrock Skylar, because with her you still do have to tribute, so it's kind of tricky. I feel like you only need 1, if any. I might take this out in the future. I'm not sure yet. I don't really run into it enough to be a big problem or anything, so it's not hasn't caused me any issues so far. But this gains 100 attack for each monster your opponent controls. During battle phase, quick effect, you can target 1 level 5 or warrior monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Also, all Warrock monsters you currently control gain 200 attack till the end phase of your opponent's turn. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot attack directly with level 5 or lower monsters. So it kind of limits your direct attacks if you respawn a card from the graveyard. But it's still, actually, it's pretty good. It's like a monster reborn on the field. So it's not terrible. It's not like horrible, but it's not the best of the Warrocks. Then I run 2 Basileos. This guy is like really good in my opinion. He's kind of, I see him a lot along with Meteor Dragon. I usually want 1 in my hand and 1 in the grave if possible, or on the field. Like most of the time I want 1 in hand, just to hold back in case, like if your opponent uses Lightning Storm, you can summon him and you can pop off their effects in the grave. You can summon a level 5 from your hand or deck, a level 5 or higher from your hand or deck, so it kind of works. You can get him and Meteor Dragon out of the field at the same time for recovery play. So it's like if they use Lightning Storm or clear your field of monsters, it's like boom, you're back in business on your next turn. So it's like so basically his effect is during battle phase in which an Earth Warrior monster battles, quick effect, you can activate this effect. This card can attack directly this turn. Also, all Warrock monsters you currently control gain 200 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Well, this card is in your hand or graveyard. When your Earth Warrior monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Warrock Basileos once per turn. So he's pretty good. So the main effect I use is his attack boost. I don't really use the attack directly unless I'm like going for an OTK or something and the opponent's monsters like are blocking the, they're stronger than him. Then I can, OTK over them without having to go through them. But this is the good part. When this card is in your hand or graveyard, when your Earth Warrior monster is destroyed by battle. Oh, it's by battle, which they do get destroyed by battle. If you set in defense or you left them in attack and they get attacked. So like, but you can special summon him from your hand or graveyard. If a Warlock, is it Earth Warrior? Oh, Earth Warrior. If an Earth Warrior monster gets destroyed, you can special summon him. So I feel like he's definitely a necessary at 2. He's not really a brick, I don't think, like, in my opinion, because if you have the field card, you can special summon him anyways. So I don't feel like the big monsters are really bricks, in my opinion. I play 2 Warrock Meteor Dragon. This guy is, I think, absolutely necessary to play in the deck. If you want it to be good, this is the guy. Like, I've used him to win all the games I play with this deck. I've used him to win. Sometimes I'll use the extra deck occasionally. It just depends what situation you're in. As you guys know, you gotta bend to whatever needs you need to win. But this guy's effect is so good. Let me read it. So, cannot be destroyed by an opponent's card effects. So that's awesome. Can't be destroyed. When an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, you can negate that opponent's monster's effects this turn, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. So that's really awesome. Once per turn during a battle phase in which your Earth Warrior monster battles, quick effect, you can make all Warrock monsters you currently control gain 200 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Also, this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. So that's an awesome effect. I've won games by being able to destroy the 2 monsters my opponent has left, and they basically have to have a handful of combo to get back to where they need to be, or they have to surrender pretty much. So I love having this card in the deck. So glad it came out in Lightning Overdrive. Like it's I think without this card, Warrocks would be no threat. Like they would not be good at all. Okay, so that's it for the monsters. Now we're into spells, and these 3 spells coming up are like the most essential, I feel like. Warrock Dignity, basically 3 negates. The only drawback is you need a Warrock on the field. So you must control a Warrock monster to activate either of these effects. So the first one, when a monster your opponent controls activates its effect, negate that effect. You don't know how many times this has come in handy, because nobody expects you to have these. Like some people don't even know what Warrocks do. So when you play this, they're like, oh man, they're trying to go heavy into combo, and you negate one of their monsters. I don't know, you can negate draw effects, you can negate special summon effects. Like this is a combo stopper for me. This helps me with Dragon Link. I've actually beaten Dragon Link because of this card, and a couple others that are coming up. The second effect is during battle phase, so you gotta remember that second effect is only during battle phase. When your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect, negate that effect. So this is good. The second effect is good for like evenly matched. If your opponent has less monsters and they try to pull an evenly matched at the end of battle phase, it's still battle phase. So you can activate this. Like, I don't know if they play some sort of Mirror Force, like Drowning Mirror Force or something. Monster effects that activate during the battle phase. Like that's why I like this card. It's quick play, and you can activate it on your opponent's turn, on your turn. Like it's I don't know, I feel like it's a must, a 3 of a must, like definitely. Next I play one Warrock Spirit. I had it at 2, but I took it out for another card, which will come up later on. But this one's like a Monster Reborn, basically. But so during the battle phase, target one Warrock monster in your graveyard, then activate one of these effects. Special summon that, or the first one, special summon that target in attack position, but for the rest of this turn, its effects are negated. Also, it cannot attack directly. So I never really ever use that one. I never use that first effect. I use the second one, which is special summon that target in defense position, but also the first time each Warrock monster you control would be destroyed by battle this turn, it is not destroyed. You can only activate one Warrock Spirit per turn. So to me, the second effect protects all your monsters one time each, and it brings back a card from the grave. So it's a stall tactic, basically. Prevents your opponent from OTKing. It's like, it saved me a couple times, so I'm still like, I don't know if I should run 2 or 1. I think 1, because if you see that in your hand, like right up front in the beginning, it's bad. Like that's a brick. That's a brick card if you draw it first turn 1. Next I play 3 Warrock Mountain. Absolutely essential for the deck. Like this is the your main go-to. This is a search, a special summon, and a protection for the monster. So when this card is activated, you can add one Warrock monster from your deck to your hand at the start of the battle phase. If you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are warrior monsters, you can special summon one Warrock monster from your hand with a different name than the cards you control. If your warrior monster would be destroyed by battle, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. You can only activate one Warrock Mountain per turn. So you can see how broken this card is for Warrocks. Like it's ridiculous. So this is a must-have, which I always search it off Fortia. If I don't have it in hand, I search it off Fortia. Or there's terraforming, you can use, which is what I added in for the other Warrock card. Definitely must have 3 Lightning Storm. Saves me so much. As you guys know, this is like one of the most powerful cards, I'd say, in today's meta right now. It gets rid of your opponent's spells, gets rid of your opponent's monsters, only if you have no face-up cards on the field. So basically, this would be before you start your plays. I usually use this. If there's back row I'm unsure about, I'll still use it. Because I know I have 3, so I know I'll recycle them back, so it's like, or not recycle, I know I'll see it again. Like the odds are I'll see it again eventually, so I don't shy away from using them. Basically for me, I use them in unsure monster situations. If their board is full, your opponent's board, or their back row is concerning, then I'll definitely use that. I play 2 Book of Lunar Eclipse. So this came out in Lightning Overdrive. This is actually a really decent card. So you'll have to pay attention to this wording here. Discard 1 card, then target 2 face-up monsters on the field. Change them to face-down defense position. So that says 2 monsters on the field, so you can target your own as well as your opponent's. So this is a Dragon Link killer. Like they'll try to combo, get 2 pieces on the field. Lunar Eclipse, face down, they can't link away, they can't synchro, they can't fusion. At least I don't think you can fusion with face down cards. But yeah, it's amazing. It's helped me win against Dragon Link, Dogmatica. I've beaten Dogmatica with this deck. I've beaten Dragon Link with this deck. I've beaten some person made like some raw deck, and I beat him with this. So yeah, this card comes in clutch. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's absolutely insane what it does. And if they target your monster with a negate effect, boom. Put Lunar Eclipse, flip it face down. If it's one of those effects that it has to be face up, you flip it face down first, they can't target it. It's basically useless. Then I play Book of Eclipse, which this one is change all face-up monsters on the field face down defense position during the end phase of this turn. Change as many face down defense position monsters your opponent controls as possible to face up defense position. Then your opponent draws cards equal to the number of monsters changed face up by this effect. This card is, the bad effect is your opponent draws cards. But the good effect is it can protect your monsters. I usually use it during the battle phase, like they'll attack. I'll use it. I'll destroy their monster next turn, because usually, most of the time, their attack monsters, like they're attacking with, are, their effects need to be face up to activate. They usually have a weaker defense than attack most of the time, so I can attack over them on my turn. So it's like, it's no consequence to me. Almost like Lunar Eclipse in a way. So it's, I don't know, I feel like that's an amazing card. I mean, bad because it lets them draw, but then I play 1 Terraforming. You guys already know what this does, field cards. Or if it's just dead weight in your hand, you can discard for Lunar Eclipse. So it doesn't really matter in there. I play 1 Regeki, just because your opponent could play all their monsters defense face up or face down, and this just says destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So they think they're avoiding Lightning Storm, but you pull out a Regeki, like they weren't expecting that at all. So to me, I keep it in there just for that reason. Like, everybody's expecting Lightning Storm to hit them, and then they're shocked when a Regeki gets all their stuff. I've had people surrender straight up, like after a game, or I'll just play a Regeki, wipe their field, and they're just like, oh man, like they just surrender because they have nothing left. I play 1 Called by the Grave. You guys all know what this does. Stops hand traps, like Ash hurts this deck, so Called by for sure. Harpy's Feather Duster for those spell removal again. Very good card, obviously, you guys know. Reinforcement of the Army. You can't run a warrior deck without this card. Like, this is a must-have. I usually search Fortia with it, or if I have, well, most of the time I do Fortia. I try to build for next turn, so like, I'll have 1 Fortia in hand, I'll use this search another Fortia just in case they destroy they off my first Fortia, or something happens to it, next turn I could summon another Fortia and have the attack boost still. So I like to stock up I like to plan ahead with this deck, because if you don't, then you're in trouble. 1 Monster Reborn seriously helps you in certain situations. You guys already know Monster Reborn is still a very good card. I play 2 Evenly Matched. This card has, actually, I was playing, it was Dragon Link. I had 200 life points left after the guy attacked. He had already used his Borreload Savage Dragon's effect, because I tried to use, I think it was a Fortia they attacked in defense, and I tried to use Fortia's effect and he negated already. So he had no negates because he already used Borreload Savage. He had the Darkness End Dragon, I think that Synchro one that mills 5 cards from your deck. And he had Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, which already uses effect too because I use Warrock Dignity. So Borreload canceled Fortia. The Archfiend, Hot Red Archfiend canceled the spell card when it was face up, so he had no negates. He already used his 2 for the battle phase. And I popped this at the end. He had nothing left. I killed him next turn. So I'm telling you, this card can save you sometimes. Like, your opponent thinks you have nothing left sometimes, and it'll save you. And then next is a triple Dark Ruler. No more. You guys already know this is like one of the most powerful cards, going second. Obviously, this deck is going second deck. Like, you do not want to go first at all. I mean, you can, because you can set your Book of Eclipse or Lunar Eclipse, or you can set the other book if you have it. but that's really the only out you'll have going second. I mean, you might get a search off Fortia, or you'll get a level 5 monster if they destroy him, but still, you don't, like, to me, going first with this deck is really dangerous because you're basically going in blind, like you don't know what you're gonna hit. So that's it for the main deck. Let's go to extra deck. You guys, also just forgot, so I'll probably put this at the front of the extra deck before I do anything. I just want to mention that Blackluster Soldier of Chaos, if you are lucky enough to own that card, which I don't because it's too expensive, that's why I forgot to mention it, because I don't play it. But if you do play it in this deck, like that card is insane. It banishes 1 card on the field if after it destroys an opponent's monster by battle. So you can either gang 1500 attack. This card can make a second attack during the battle phase of your next turn, or banish 1 card on the field. So when I used him, I did the banish effect. But yeah, if you guys own that card, definitely run it in here instead of, I don't know, take out one of the monsters you don't need. But it's insane, because I used to run it, but then I was like, I don't have it, so I'll make a deck built around what I have. So yeah, for sure. So I run 1 Underclock Taker, basically extra deck. So let me explain this. Extra deck in this deck, to me, doesn't really matter. I barely use it. I've only used like 2 to 3 cards in it. So you can run the pot of, I would run like 2 pot of Prosperity, or 2 pot of, is it Extravagance or Desires? Whatever banishes your extra deck, because you really literally don't need your extra deck in this deck. So if you want extra draw power, that's definitely an option to go. I had a pot of Prosperity in here, but I traded my friend for a Ultimate Super Poly, so I don't have it anymore. But yeah, so basically these cards you can really put in whatever you want, honestly. I'll tell you the cards that matter when I get to them though. I play Decode Talker, 1 Decode Talker, 1 Underclock Taker, 1 Decode Talker. I play 3 Nightmare Phoenix. This is just, in case you need to pop something, just in case. It's not really mandatory. Then I play 3 Nightmare Unicorn. Same thing as Nightmare Phoenix, just if you need to send something. It can out Dragoon, I think, or yeah, if Dragoon already used its effect, it can out him. So I like these next couple cards. So Topologic Bomber Dragon, because this deck can easily go into Link 4. It just needs 2+ effect monsters, easy to go into. And if another monster is special summoned to zone this points to, destroy all monsters in the main monster zones. Yeah, so basically it's to wipe their monsters off the field in the main monster zones. Then I play 1 Boral Sword Dragon, sorry, not Boral Sword, which you guys obviously know what this card does. It's very good. You can pull this off too. Link 4, 2+ effect monsters, easy to get out. And it can win you games. Then, one of my favorites, I play 2 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. This card is insane. This is how I also beat Dragon Link, the other game, because all he had on the field left on my turn, because I negated a lot of his effects. He had, or was it evenly matched? I can't remember. I used something in his, basically he had no outs. All he had was his Darkness End Dragon, that synchro that mills 5. So I had 3 on the field. I used my Warrock field card to special summon, or I summoned, normal summon, then I special summoned from my hand. Used the Warrock field card. Used his monster and my 4 and 4 of mine. Got her out. Attack for game, that was it. So obviously she's good. And if you guys don't know what she does, basically you can use one monster your opponent controls to summon her. If this card is link summoned, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls, which is very good if they had face-up monsters in the field. This link summoned card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they target this card. So it's the opposite of like Dragoon or other cards that you know, can only be destroyed by, I don't know, untargeted effects or send effects. Like she has to be targeted or it doesn't work. And then my favorite effect, once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that special summons a monster from the graveyard, quick effect, you can negate activation. Because in today's format, I don't know how many decks special summon from the graveyard. Like, I think every deck I've faced does that, so definitely a must-have. And then 2 Silent Honor Arc just because, and 1 Castel, the Sky Blaster Musketeer, just because, like, those don't really matter. So yeah, that's the main deck. And I'll just quickly talk about side deck for it, just because. So you can put in Dogmatic Punishment, because like I said, extra deck doesn't matter that much. So you can play like 3 of these if you want to target and destroy opponent's monsters, if this works better for you guys. Obviously I side 3DD Crow, very powerful today's format. 3 Ash, same. 3 Nib, because you never know when you'll face those super combo heavy decks. And 3 Ghost Bell, because same, it's very impactful in today's meta. A lot of graveyard play that I see these days, like it stops Drytron, Eldritch, all that. 2 Drone Locks, just, I don't know, it never really comes up. And 2 Lancia, which I don't really, there's only specific decks that I would use these 2 for, so it's, but most of, you know, most are DD Crow, Ash, and Ghost Bell, I'd say. So here's what I'll do. I'll do like a little test hand thing. So I'll shuffle and I'll do like a little test hand so you guys can see like basically a hypothetic matchup. So obviously you want to go second. So let's say we went second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, already good, 5. Look at that. So we don't have the field card, which is pretty bad, but you can get it with Fortia. So, okay, so that's your 5. Then you draw 6 for your turn. Another Fortia. So that's pretty decent. So what I would do is, if they had spells and traps, Harpy's Feather Duster, obviously. Use it, wipe their board of spells and traps. You have Warrock Dignity in hand, so I keep these 2 in hand until main phase 2. Because if you set, you can't activate it during your turn, so if they have something waiting for you. So if they had a big monster, unfortunately I would sacrifice Warrock Fortia. I would attack into it. So I would normal summon. I would go to battle phase. And remember, you have this, so if you're Warrock Fortia, even if he dies, you're good. So I'd attack, boom, you'd activate his effect after damage calculation. You'd search your deck for Warrock Mountain, obviously. And then you would, so he'd probably be destroyed most likely if they had a stronger monster. If they had a weaker monster, you'd be fine. Like, usually I'll summon it even if they have stronger monsters, I'll attack their weakest one so he can still survive, get the attacking boost. And then so then you go to main phase 2, activate Warrock Mountain. So this is your hand right now. Did we have Meteoragon? I think we'd already. maybe we already had him. If we already had him, that's good. Otherwise, I would have searched Meteoragon with him. But now, if we had him, I will search Basileos. So, which actually Basileos would have been good during that confrontation because you could summon him since your Fortia is destroyed by battle. So you do have Warlock Spirit if you want to reborn your Fortia, which I might do on this turn. Like it could go either way. I could set it, wait till your opponent's battle phase and do it, but they might wipe your spells and traps by that. So I would set this and Warlock Dignity. So if they activate a card, or like say it's battle phase, and the best part is during either battle phase you can use this card's effect special summon. So if they, say they enter that battle phase, I would automatically get out Meteoragon because this card at the start of battle phase you can special summon a Warlock. Then sometimes they'll back off because he can't be destroyed by effects, and he gets an attack boost, and he negates the monster's effect that attacks him. So there's not much that can, there's some stuff that can go over him, but usually their monsters are pretty weak compared to him. And you also have a negate effect during battle phase, so you can negate their monster's effect also on top of his if they have multiple monsters. And you can wait for him to get destroyed, and you can activate this to bring him back. Or you can get your Fortia back from the grave. So let's say they ended battle phase with that or whatever. So say you have these two, you draw. So I'd switch Fortia to attack. I might hold on to the second Fortia, like maybe I'll hold it back in case you need to search again. Or you can summon it because he'll gain attack boost no matter what. So I'd summon him. Say they have a couple monsters, right? So you have 3 summons already. You go to battle phase, you get your 5th summon because the field card. And then, see you have 4 lined up right here. Guess what? They got a monster you can pull out. Main phase 2, obviously. Like you might destroy, you might clear out their field and just run with this and destroy them, or you can, because remember all these get attack boosts. 200, 200, 200, so that's 2, 4, 600 attack boosts per monster, or 600 attack boost to all of them. But yeah, say main phase 2, they have 1 left. You want to get rid of it? Underworld Goddess, Closed World. Boom. And then on their turn, if they try to activate a graveyard effect, negate it with her, obviously. Or you can even get out the Boreal Sword or Topologic Bomber Dragon if you just want to use your 4. So there's plenty of play with this deck. There's plenty of play. And like say, I don't know, so you had one of these instead of like a negate card or something. Perfect. You just set it, their turn, activate it. All your monsters face down, yeah, it sucks, but whatever if it's Alistair or something, you can flip him face down, or like Ecclesia, like the normal summon, and that's it. You can flip her face down. No problem. So you can see there's like, with this deck, there's potential. Like I like it. I think it's really fun to play it. A lot of it is just your opponent does not expect what's happening, or they don't like, they're like, whoa, what is going on? I didn't expect these cards or this combination, because nobody, in my opinion, it's because nobody really plays Warrock. Like who plays Warrock? Who do you know that plays Warrock? Maybe one person or something. And like, so I think it's fun. I picked it up just because their artwork is so cool. Like, my favorite is, what is it? Like, look at these three. These three right here are probably my top favorite. Basilios looks cool, like an axe guy. Meteor is probably my top favorite. Just a dual sword, armored dude. Fortia has a dagger, whatever, with armor. Like, I don't know, it's cool. It reminds me of like real warriors, you know, like, so. I've always been a warrior fan. I had like the old Guilford the Lightning deck and all that. So yeah, I don't know. To me, it's just cool. Like, that's pretty much the only reason I picked up this deck. It just looks cool. And like, after I started playing it, I was like, wow, their effects are actually pretty cool. And with Meteoragon, the Meteoragon edition, he pretty much sells the deck. So, but yeah, if you just like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time.